Welcome to Community Voices with your host, Tarence Lauchie. This radio roundtable features community, business, and religious leaders that discuss current events and topics that impact our urban community. If you would like to be a guest or if you have a suggested topic, contact the station today at 616-259-7342. Now, into the program.
Greetings, this is Tarence Lauchie, and you're tuned into another edition of Community Voices here on 91.9 FM, The People's Choice. Community Voices is an opportunity for us to hear what's going on in the community and to hear the voices of the people from our community, resources, information, things that would be helpful. And today we have Miss Michelle Gilbert here. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And Michelle is with Comcast. Talk to us a little bit about your job, your role, and why we're having our discussion today.
Sure. So I oversee all of the internal and external communications for Comcast here in Michigan. And one of the things that I get to do is to talk about how we are collaborating with community members on important issues, such as the digital divide and getting more people connected to the internet, which I know we'll dive more into.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We've got about 30 minutes worth of conversation here. And for those who might just be tuning in, you're listening to Community Voices on 91.9 FM, The People's Choice. Michelle Gilbert is the Vice President of Public Relations at Comcast. And that's Comcast West Michigan or Comcast State of Michigan. So how far does your authority reach?
Oh, my authority reaches across Michigan, Indiana, and a very small piece of Kentucky.
Awesome.
We're referred to as the Heartland region, which really means nothing outside of our company. But
yeah, I was going to say, I thought the Heartland was further west. Right?
Yeah, don't even ask how we got named that. I don't know. But we here in Michigan, we have right around 2,000 employees, including about 200 here in West Michigan.
Wow.
And,
10% of your workforce is right here.
Yes, it is. It's right here in West Michigan. And, we've got dozens and dozens of community partners that we work with on just making this a great place to live for West Michiganders and Michiganders across the state.
Well, our listening audience today can benefit from this information. In fact, the partnership that Comcast has with 91.9 FM People's Choice has given us some great perks. We've got some technology and some laptops that will be given away.
Yes. So today we've brought 5 laptops for your station to get in the hands of people who need them the most. And one of the barriers to digital adoption is having access to good technology. And we learned that during the pandemic, right? So it's one thing if you have internet at home, but if you don't have the right technology to get you online, then it really doesn't matter.
Sure.
And so one of the things that we do is we donate a lot of laptops and Chromebooks and tablets in the community through nonprofit organizations and through organizations like your own that can help us find the right people who have the greatest need.
That's awesome. You mentioned the digital divide. That's a term that it's not really new, but it's becoming more and more conversational because people have experienced it. The pandemic brought about a great deal of awareness of where the shortages were, where the lack of existed, and where need persists the most. You have been working for years, you said probably for more than a decade, in bridging that gap and helping to create opportunity for access, reduced costs, as well as the trust factor. Those are 3 of the components that we talked a little bit about. Share that with us, because your role in the community is now a basic essential, like lights and gas and water.
Right.
The internet is another utility that we all need.
It is. It absolutely is. And, so Comcast back in 2011, we started a program called Internet Essentials. And Internet Essentials was created to help income-constrained families get the internet in their home. And what I love about the program is it's not just about putting internet in the home, but it's also about giving them the ability to purchase a laptop at a greatly reduced price. It also provides free digital skills training because, again, as we talked about, having the internet but not knowing how to get online or not knowing how to safely use the internet doesn't do us any good. So it was really a program that was designed to address those three critical needs. So fast forward to 2020, and the pandemic hits us. And that really brought to light just how much there is of a digital divide.
Mm-hmm.
And so you had all these community partners scrambling to get devices into homes, which is great. But again, if you've got families who haven't adopted and they don't have the internet in their home, then those devices don't do them any good.
Right.
So Comcast, again, we've been working on this for a while, but when the pandemic hit, it gave us a greater opportunity to collaborate even more with our community partners, as well as do some new things as well, so that we could really address those three barriers to adoption.
I was looking on the internet to see the contact information for people to have access to either the technology through the hardware, the laptop itself, or even the reduced rate for internet. Talk to us about how to approach Comcast to get those services.
Sure. So I would encourage your listeners to go to internetessentials.com. That is where they're going to find how to apply for Internet Essentials, what all the benefits are. Additionally, and we haven't talked about this yet, but when you combine Internet Essentials with the federal government's Affordable Connectivity Program, you're in essence making internet access in the home free, because the Affordable Connectivity Program through the federal government provides a $30 credit towards your internet bill for income-constrained households. And so
what's the criteria for income constrained? Is there a checklist of?
Yeah, so pretty much anyone who qualifies for any kind of federal funding, whether you're, Social Security, or I should say
SSI,
Medicaid,
yeah.
SSI, if your children are on the free or reduced lunch program, there's all different kinds of criteria, based on what your income level is, at or below the poverty guidelines. So, the criteria for Internet Essentials mirrors what the Affordable Connectivity Program is. So if you're eligible for one, you're going to be eligible for the other, for food stamps, any kind of WIC program. So anything like that, you're going to be able to get this credit.
So anyone receiving federal assistance of any type would
Exactly.
be a good candidate to apply for both the free access as well as the Internet Essentials.
Yes.
InternetEssentials.com is where they would go.
Yes, InternetEssentials.com. And even from that website, you will see, for our customers, or if you're interested in Xfinity, you will see how to get to the Affordable Connectivity Program to apply for that. But if you are looking at another provider, and there are many providers, probably most here in Grand Rapids, that participate in the Affordable Connectivity Program. If you go to fcc.gov/ACP, then that is the federal government's website, which provides, again, all of the information on how to apply and what the eligibility criteria are.
Great. We'll share that information again. Those who might just be tuning in, talking to Michelle Gilbert, Vice President of Public Relations at Comcast here in West Michigan and the Heartlands.
Yes.
So you spanned quite a few locations. People may have relatives in those areas that they want to tell about these programs as well.
Yes, and I think that is key, is educating our friends and our family members who may be eligible for this, because it can be a very overwhelming experience even just to apply for the credit. And just like my kids like to help me with the technology needs that I don't necessarily have, we all know someone in our lives who maybe aren't as tech savvy as we are. And so being able to help them with that process, showing them if they've got a new device, how to secure it with, so that they don't fall prey to a cyber attack. Things like that are really, really important
The
that we
barrage
can all.
of advertisements and spam.
Right.
Comes, yeah.
Which, by the way, this time of year is even more so. We tend to let our guard down. There tend to be more cyber attacks during the holiday season because we're always looking for great deals. They come to us through text messaging, email, even through our social media channels. And sometimes they can be very misleading, and we don't even realize we're clicking on a link that is not a great link.
Right.
So,
and it could lead to a lot of trouble. We've got seniors at our church, and this might be for somebody who's listening today as well. The senior citizens who experienced COVID in that tailspin of having to watch service online or having to access even their doctor's appointments online became overwhelming. And so I think this is a very viable solution or answer, but we need some people to help. We need people who, like you said, a generation that was born with technology to help those of us who had to learn technology.
Absolutely. And I would tell you also that in addition to the role that we can all play in helping the seniors in our lives or anyone who could use a little bit of technology assistance, Comcast partners with several community organizations right here in Grand Rapids.
Share some of those with us.
The Urban League, the Boys and Girls Club, La OOP, the Hispanic Center of West Michigan, the Baxter Community Center. We partner with a lot of these organizations, and they have digital skills training that they provide for free to their members in the community. And what we do is we provide them with grants so that they can provide these services to the community. So I would also encourage your listeners to reach out to local community organizations and find out what organizations provide that digital skills training because there's tremendous resources right here in West Michigan.
And I think that partnering with Comcast really works. You guys decided to donate 5 computers here to the radio station, and with the program of training and internship that's happening, I'm sure there's going to be some happy young people to receive these laptops, these Chromebooks from Dell, brand new, fresh out the box, as they would say.
Yes, and I learned from Dion about the wonderful program that you have running and how you're training the future journalists of the next generation. And I'm hoping there will be more opportunities for us to partner and support your program.
I think that'd be a great partnership going into the summer. Specifically, there's a need for people to get their kids signed up into summer programs. And I know that the Next Gen program for media and learning all things production is going to be insightful for some young person. And it's good to know that Comcast is interested in partnering. Just the donation of the computers alone, I think, will be an asset to the program itself.
Well, we pride ourselves on being a strong community partner. We know that it's a business's responsibility to give back, and this is an ideal fit to what we do. We're all about technology and giving access to technology to people, and so this is just a great win-win for all of us.
I think it is great. Talk to us a little bit about some of the things that you guys saw coming out of COVID into where we are now, because people are somewhat recovering, but we have whole new paradigms on how we communicate or how we access information.
Absolutely. So one of the things that we learned during the pandemic is that particularly because there were a number of households that had not adopted internet in the home. So they had the ability to, but for a variety of reasons, they chose not to. So you've got all these kids who need to get online, and even some families who had internet in the home, but the parents were essential workers, and so they could not leave their children home alone to get online, especially if they were like elementary school age. So we started collaborating collaborating with community partners, and we developed what are called lift zones. And these are safe places within local community centers where the kids could go for the day, get online, do their schoolwork in a safe environment with the support that they need and enough bandwidth for all the kids to be streaming video at the same time. And so we built 6 lift zones right here in West Michigan with nonprofit organizations that had the space, that were already serving children. And that was a lifesaver for many families because they could send their kids to a safe environment. Many of these organizations that were only open during the after-school hours, they shifted and they were now open all day long.
Oh.
So what we've learned, though, since then, now kids are back in school full-time, which is amazing. It's where they need to be and where they're going to learn the best. But we've learned from our Lift Zone partners that there's still a tremendous need.
I was going to say, I can identify a couple of needs or places that I know that the Lift Zone would be helpful. You got 6 of them here already.
We do. We have 6 of them here in West Michigan. And so we keep these Lift Zones opened. And what we've also learned is it's not just the children that need them, but there are needs within the greater community.
Right.
People who are getting their lives back on track. And
Remote work.
They maybe need to apply for jobs. I mean, you can't apply for a job and not be online. So to be able to go to a Lift Zone and have access to a computer, have access to a high-speed internet connection, allows you to do that Zoom interview or virtually. It allows you to apply for the job. It allows you to take the digital skills training courses that you need to become familiar with how to use the internet, how to use it safely online. And so these Lift Zones are serving a very, very instrumental purpose in our communities. And we're just thrilled to be able to, again, once again, partner with these community organizations that are already doing such an outstanding job. And that's the thing, when you're trying to tackle an issue like the digital divide, nobody's going to solve it by themselves.
That's right.
So we need to come together as a community and work together, bring our resources together so that we can figure out how we're using them as wisely as possible.
Sure. We have a vast listening audience, and it may be somebody who's involved with a nonprofit organization or with a community organization that could partner with you as well. And then, of course, there are the consumers, those who actually need the internet in their home, or those young people that might be listening right now going, hey, I need a computer, they would access through these programs. I'm talking to Michelle Gilbert. She's the Vice President of Public Relations at Comcast here in the West Michigan area and some other states. The program that she's talking about specifically deals with bridging the digital divide, addressing the barriers of cost, accessibility, and then trust. The resources seem to be plenteous, but tell us a little bit more about the program. And we're just kind of rehashing some of the information that you shared right there. What stands out to you the most? What are you most passionate about when it comes to this work that you're doing in bridging that gap?
You talked about the trust, and I don't think we should take for granted the importance and the value of the digital skills training, because when you know how to use the internet, it just comes second nature to us, right? So we understand probably, that we need to be careful what we click on. If something doesn't look right, we probably shouldn't trust that it's a good site. But if you've never used the internet, we have a lot of people who are afraid to pay bills online because they're afraid their information's going to be stolen. But it's about protecting that information, right? Banking information. One of the things that we've really gotten into lately, let me back up because you asked what I'm most passionate about. I've actually sat in on some of these digital skills training classes, specifically with senior citizens. And we had given some laptops away to some seniors. And I talked to a gentleman who said he got the laptop and he was getting ready to give it away to a grandchild because he didn't know how he was going to use this laptop. And the people at the community center said, before you give it away, just take our digital skills training class and let us teach you what you can use it for. And so he went through that class and he learned how he could listen to his music online, how he could FaceTime his grandchildren, how he could get email and communicate with people in a way that he never did before, and even read his news online. And it opened up his world in a way that he never thought possible. So the bad news for his grandchild is they did not get the laptop. He kept it himself.
Which is good.
Which
they
is
probably
good.
have a smartphone already, right?
Exactly. So for me, that's the most energizing part of what we do is when you see that success.
It sounds like that's where your passion is
Yes.
watching that connectivity happen with humans and the resources that we need in order to be human these days.
Right.
I mean, think about it. Depending on the generational age group, you were born into something. Of course, I can remember my parents talking about television being a new thing when they were kids. And then for us, it was actually the internet was brand new, coming up. And now there are kids who were actually born with internet as being a mainstay. And now AI, artificial intelligence, is real big. I mean, so we can see the progression of humanity, but technology is a constant. I guess a big, huge television was technology back in the 30s and 40s, 50s. But now we can see the use of computers on something as small as a handheld device.
Well, and that's exactly what they are. They are computers, and we carry them everywhere we go.
Yeah.
So we need to make sure that we know how to use them, that we use them safely. What we're seeing is that cyber attacks on our mobile devices are increasing because cyber criminals are very sophisticated with their techniques. I will tell you that I got scammed over the holidays. I clicked on a link through my phone over social media. It looked like a great deal, and it was one of those deals that was too good to be true. So then I had to call my credit card company and cancel the card, and because I realized like a week later, gosh, I never got an email confirming that purchase. Yes. So even when we are tech savvy, we still can fall prey. So that's why it's so important that we
that addresses that trust factor that you mentioned too. When people know better, they do better, or when they're informed. I actually got scammed or attempted scam from someone who was disguising themselves as my credit union. They actually sent a text saying, did you authorize this payment? Click here to find out more. And, I called the credit union directly.
Good for you.
And they said, oh no, we would never send you a text. And then she asked if the woman I spoke with said, did the last letters in the text thread end with these? And she said, yeah, that's a scam. So how do you suggest people be alert? I mean, of course, the program that you're talking about, the digital skills training, but how do you suggest people become more conscientious or sensitive to these possibilities of scams?
Sure. I would say, well, there's a couple things. First of all, with any email that you receive, no matter who it looks like it came from, you can actually click on the little arrow to see the actual email address it came through. And if it says Xfinity as the name, but then you open it up and it's got all these weird letters and numbers at yahoo.com, that is not from Xfinity or whatever organization it looks like it's coming from. So always check what is the actual email address. And then the other thing is exactly what you did. If you got whether it's a voicemail or an email or a text message, and it's offering a 50% savings on your bill or whatever it is, call the company and ask them if they sent that email or if they called you with that special deal. Because calling into the number that you know and trust versus the number that was left is the best route to go. I just spoke with a woman yesterday who sent me a voicemail. She said they say they're from Xfinity and they're going to give me half off my bill. Is this legitimate? And they gave her an 800 number, which was not ours.
Right.
And they told her to call between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m., Pacific time. We would never say that. So I told her, no, this sounds like a scam to me. And you could always call into our Xfinity number, 800 Xfinity, to get that same deal if it's legitimate.
Sure. And there are a lot of people who will disguise themselves in saying that they're selling a cheaper version of the internet service that you already have.
Yes.
And I think that that's something for us to look out for as well.
Absolutely.
Great.
Absolutely.
Well, talk to us just a little bit. We've got some time left about how Comcast, Xfinity is doing the thing in the community to get people the access that they need. So it's kind of take it from the top.
Sure. Well, one other thing that I would say, just for all your listeners to know, is we have 3 Xfinity retail stores right here in the Grand Rapids area. We have one off of East Beltline Avenue. We've got one in Granville on Century City Street Southwest, and then we have one in Muskegon. And I think that it's always helpful to have that face-to-face interaction when you have questions about your service, or if you're looking to save some money. The technology that we're relying on in our homes is more complex than ever before.
Oh, yeah, because when you start talking about cable bundles and your internet access
and how your Wi-Fi
devices
works and how many devices you're connecting to your Wi-Fi, which all of us underestimate. So getting up close and personal with the technology that you're relying on every single day, you can do that in our stores with the help of a technology expert who can walk you through how our Wi-Fi works, how to protect the devices that are connected to your Wi-Fi, what to do if your internet seems to be a little bit laggy. There are some things that we can do ourselves before we have to make an appointment to have the tech come out and visit. So these are the things I encourage people to just visit those stores anytime they need help, even before they call in. And then also, I would tell people, if you're an Xfinity customer, download the Xfinity app, because there's some very basic troubleshooting that you can do on your own. If you are with another provider, check out their app, because again, we're empowering customers to learn on their own, to do these things, to visit the stores, to take advantage of those services that are available for free to get the assistance you need.
It sounds to me that Comcast, Xfinity, they're socially responsible entities, very socially responsible.
We pride ourselves on, really being a strong community member and providing the most value we can for what you're paying for.
Absolutely. So bridging that digital divide, you're offering, after 10 years of providing affordable internet access, you're offering some programs, the Affordable Connectivity Program, partnering with the federal government, and that can be accessed through fcc.gov
/ACP. And I will also say that actually we have experts in our stores who are trained on how to assist our customers with the Affordable Connectivity Program and in determining whether they are eligible for the program.
That's important.
It is important.
You've got 3 locations. Those stores.
We have 3 locations, and we have employees in each who are certified and trained on how to help customers with the Affordable Connectivity Program.
So if somebody's starting out at home, they can just Google the Xfinity store. How do they find the store?
You can Google the stores. I can give you the addresses.
Sure.
So in Grand Rapids, we have at 1971 East Beltline Avenue Northeast. Mm-hmm. We have in Granville 3433 Century City Street Southwest. And then in Muskegon, 5506 Harvey Street. And I anticipate that within the next year or so, we hope that we will be adding another location here in Grand Rapids.
These are called Xfinity stores.
These are Xfinity stores. And if what's going through your mind is, why do I need to visit a store to sign up for cable service, I would tell you, one, we are much more than cable service. We are a technology company, and we actually also provide mobile service. So that's what we say is the best kept secret, which we don't really want to be a secret, but bundling your mobile service with your internet, you can save, some of our customers are saving over $100 a month just by bundling their their mobile service with their internet service. And so I would tell you, we have all the latest and greatest phones in those stores. You can get accessories for your phones. You can buy cameras to watch over your home.
So security programs,
security programs and products that will, so that you can keep your home safe, watch over your home, doorbells that work with, that'll connect to your home Wi-Fi, and you can watch through the cameras right through your Xfinity app. So lots of different types of technology, all integrated to the Wi-Fi. So when I talk about, how complex the technology is that we're relying on every day, being able to see it hands-on in a store and touch it and feel it and understand it, and get the best pricing, I encourage you to visit our stores.
Great. So 3 stores here in the West Michigan area, and then the lift zones. I would like to revisit that because I'm sure there's somebody listening going, hey, where can I go to jump on the internet to access, let's say, the unemployment office, or they're applying for jobs and they need some place to check their email on a daily basis.
Yes. So our 6 lift zones here in West Michigan are the Baxter Community Center, the Boys and Girls Clubs of Grand Rapids Youth Commonwealth, the Hispanic Center of West Michigan, the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Holland's South Side, the Boys and Girls Club of the Muskegon Lakeshore, and La Oop in Holland, which is Latin Americans United for Progress. So those are the 6 organizations that have lift zones in them. But we also partner with many other nonprofit organizations here across West Michigan, providing grants, supporting the other types of digital literacy programs that they have, including Early Learning Neighborhood Collaborative, Urban League of West Michigan, West Michigan Center for Arts and Technology, and many other organizations right here in Grand Rapids and beyond.
I think these are great things that helps to eliminate that divide. I think that there is probably somebody listening that's simply saying, hey, how do I get the free access to the computers, or how do I get the $30 credit? People would start either at the Xfinity store or online.
Yes, you can go to the Xfinity store if you like that face-to-face interaction. You could also go to internetessentials.com, and that's where you're going to find all the information about our low-cost program for income-constrained households. And then from that website as well, not only can you apply for an Internet Essentials, but you can also apply for the Affordable Connectivity Program and get information on that right through that website. So it's kind of a one-stop shop, if you will.
Right, and if you qualify for one, you automatically qualify for the other.
Absolutely. And then I should also probably provide, we have a phone number for Internet Essentials.
Now that would be, of course, for the individuals who says, I'm not going to try to Google it and can't get over there to the store, but I can pick up my phone and dial it.
Yes, and I would say that number is 855-846-8376.
It's 855-846-8376.
Yes.
Awesome. And when they get that number, they can talk to somebody about the programs, what's being offered, and how they can sign up.
Absolutely. Yes.
Great. Well, I want to use the last couple of minutes here for you to close out with that final pitch for partnering opportunities, as well as people taking advantage of what is available. So go ahead and just give that last spiel.
Yeah. Well, you know what I'd like to do, because you talked about, we've talked a lot about the nonprofit organizations that we support here in West Michigan. And you may have listeners who are saying, gosh, I'd love to support with Comcast also, or get support from Comcast also, and partner with them. And we would love to hear from them. So I am going to go out on a limb and I'm going to provide my email address in the hopes that it is used the right way.
Absolutely.
It is Michelle, Michelle _ Gilbert, Gilbert, at Comcast.com. And if you work with a nonprofit organization and you have a digital equity program that you think that we could help you with, I can't make any promises, but we are always looking for more ways to collaborate here in Grand Rapids. And so send me an email. I will get it in the right hands, and we will go from there.
Michelle, that is very noble. I appreciate you being willing to share your personal contact information for the listening audience, and somebody who say, hey, this might be a good idea for my church, or this may be a good idea for the nonprofit or the community organization that they are a part of. I appreciate that very, very much. It's great to have you here, and I'm sure you'll probably be back or have someone back as Comcast moves forward and partnering with 91.9 FM, the People's Choice. It's great talking to you. Anything else you want to say to our listening audience?
Oh, gosh. I would just tell you, for anyone out there who is, having issues with their internet and you don't know what is going on, I'm going to tell you the very first thing that you're going to hear when you call in, whoever your carrier is they're going to tell you to power cycle your router. It's kind of like our phones and our computers. Sometimes they just need a restart.
Right.
If that doesn't work, here's something else that you can do, because some people will find that they are having no problem with the speeds in their office, but when they get to that back bedroom, maybe it's not working as well. So what you can do is take a device and do a speed test in each room of the house. If you are getting different speeds in different rooms of the house, that might mean that your connection isn't strong in certain parts of the house.
You may need a booster.
You may need a booster. And so we sell something called X5 pods, which just plug into the wall and they boost the signal across your home. There are others you can find on, third party that you can use as well. But that's another easy thing that you can do. And if all that fails, call your internet service provider, have them come out and do a quality check.
Awesome. Michelle, you're just a walking resource. Thank you so much for being here. This has been Tarence Lauchie with Community Voices on 91.9 FM, the People's Choice. We have been talking to Michelle Gilbert of Comcast, and we thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Tarence.
You've been listening to Community Voices with your host, Tarence Lauchie. Community Voices can be heard every Friday at 12 noon. This radio roundtable features community, business, and religious leaders that discuss current events and topics that impact our urban community. If you would like to be a guest, or if you have a suggested topic, contact the station today at 616-259-7342. Until next week, let your voice be heard in the community.